This is Hebrew Hits presented by jtriberadio.com. I'm your host, Malya, and I sit down with people who live by the motto, it's what you do with what you have that makes a difference. Welcome to the 42nd episode of Hebrew Hits. I am so excited for this interview. I'm sitting down with someone so exciting. I have been following this page for a very long time. We finally found out who is the face behind this page. Before we get there, I'd like to kindly ask you if you can please go follow Hebrew Hits on Instagram and Facebook at Hebrew_Hits. And please go follow our YouTube channel. Hit that subscribe button at Hebrew Hits Radio. And go follow and subscribe on all of your favorite streaming apps. So right now, I am sitting down with the face of Simcha Spot, with the girl who runs Simcha Spot. Her name is Serena. Serena, welcome to the show. How are you doing today?
Good. It's so nice to be here. Thank you for having me on, Malya.
Of course. How have you been doing with Corona, COVID? I know there may be like a second strain right now.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, thank God, in Baltimore it's calmed down a bit, but thank God I work virtually, right? So my job
Yeah.
hasn't changed at all.
When was Simcha Spot actually started?
So we were the first people to have an Instagram account with Simchas,
Mhm.
and the Instagram started in 2015. You would think that because of the following we have, it would have been, 15 years old, but Instagram has only gotten popular really in the last decade.
Right.
So we've only been around for 5 years. It's really shocking.
Wow. 5 years and you grew so big in 5 years.
Yes, we really
That's
have. We have an amazing following that is so engaged,
mhm.
that really keeps the brand alive. So we've been very, very lucky to gain such a following. And we, always trying to keep up on the latest trends to keep everybody, happy and excited.
For sure. And I know that there are so many different social media accounts that are posting engagements. There are so many different ones, but there's nothing that could compare to Simcha Spot.
Right.
There's nothing. Simcha Spot is the way to go. Every day I check Simcha Spot at least once, twice, maybe even 3 times. I'm
Sure.
always looking at Simcha Spot. So how did you get your audience to be so engaged and so pick up that following?
That's a great question. I mean, my entire job at Simcha Spot is to post content throughout the day. I think
Mhm.
we are one of the most active accounts on Instagram. You know that every time you check Simcha Spot, even if you check it on the hour, there is going to be new content up. So
Mhm.
we are the first ones to get the greatest content in. If there's a funny fail wedding video, we get it first.
Right.
And that really is because we have a following that loves the brand and loves our mission. So they want to send it to us first. They want us to put it out. They want to show all their family and friends it was on Simcha Spot. So, that's really how we grew.
But the beginning process must have been very hard to actually get people to trust you and send you their pictures.
Sure. So there are definitely people who do not want to be on Simcha Spot, and we encourage people to let us know. Every day, people will message me, "Hi, Serena, dear editor, I'm getting engaged tonight. I do not want to be on Simcha Spot." And
Wow.
we take that very seriously at Simcha Spot. I keep a running list next to my bed, and I keep people's names on it who do not want to be on Simcha Spot. Because our brand is all about simcha and
Mhm.
and spreading happiness, not making people uncomfortable.
How long is that list?
It depends. Sometimes we'll have a few people every week. Sometimes four people will message me one day, and it's usually I find it's more people who are on the shy side, or maybe they didn't tell their bubby yet and they don't want,
Mhm.
it to get leaked that their friends didn't know. So it's interesting. Yeah.
That's interesting. And how did they come up with the name Simcha Spot? And also, what motivated them to start Simcha Spot?
Sure. So the motivator to start Simcha Spot was really there was this interesting niche, in the Frum community that we all know each other. You can know people from, all walks of life, you know, Five Towns, Baltimore, Chicago, from all over, and you see them on Simcha Spot and you know who they are a lot of the time.
Right.
So we thought, like, wouldn't it be great if there was one place where you could find out, like, all the hawk on, like, the Frum world? So that's really how it started. In terms of the name, it really is a spot for Simcha. You go to Simcha Spot to be happy. So that was really the idea behind the name.
Very interesting. I love the name Simcha Spot, and your name is Serena. So always when I put two together, I always just think of Gossip Girl, the show, because Serena Vanderwoodson is always being spotted
Right.
on Gossip Girl. So right when you came out with Simcha Spot, it was like right when Gossip Girl was very popular. And I remember I was younger and I was like, okay, they're totally copying Gossip Girl. Not copying, but like, getting a spin-off of Gossip Girl. And
Sure.
then now that your name popped up, that's Serena, and Serena is, Spot Serena, Simcha Spot Serena. I was just like, that's so cool. Any connection there, or it just happens to be your name Serena, happens to be they chose the name Simcha Spot?
So, interesting backstory. I think the people who chose the name Simcha Spot were not even aware of the show Gossip Girl. Just to give a little background, I am aware of the show Gossip Girl. People often make jokes that I should be blonde, like Serena Vanderwoodson. I will tell you, it's funny. My Hebrew name is Sararina. That's how I'm Serena. So
Oh.
Serena is my nickname, but I've always been called that since I was a little kid.
Mhm.
And one day we were having a Simcha Spot meeting, and we were like, discussing. People are very curious to see who is running this account. Is it a guy? Is it a girl? Is he 40? Is he 20? Like, who on earth is behind it? And so I sat there and I was like, do I want to put my face in front of like 80K? And then I was like, why not? Like, I'm a pretty outgoing person.
Mhm.
People will stop me and say hello. I think it's very sweet. I'm always happy when people come up. But we were like, let's make it cute. Like, let's not just say like, oh, hi, I'm Serena Hain. Instead we're like, let's make it Simcha Spot Serena. It's got a ring to it.
It does, it
But
really does.
it does, but it's just funny because people will talk to me in a serious voice and call me that. They'll be like, hi, Simcha Spot Serena. So I need to ask your opinion. And I'm like, what?
Oh my gosh, that's hilarious.
Yeah. People be like,
Wow.
"You Simcha Spot Serena. I really liked your latest post." You know?
Oh my gosh. It's so funny because I know that when we started talking, I didn't never call you Simcha Spot Serena. I was just like, okay, your name's, but the first thing I did ask you was, any connection to Gossip Girl, remember?
Right. Right. So I
Which is
find that girls under 25 often ask me that question. The guys,
so
they don't
interesting.
know. No guy ever asks me that if it's Serena
Right.
Vanderwoodson. Right.
That's hilarious. Okay, I got to ask you this question. I don't know if you know or if you can remember, but do you know who the first couple ever to be posted on Simcha Spot was?
Yes. Adina Goldfeder and Ephraim Schwartz. They are married in Brooklyn with 5 children. And they
Wow.
were our very first couple to be posted on Simcha Spot.
Oh my gosh. So how did that come to be the first couple being posted on Simcha Spot? The person who was running it was like, hey, I heard you got engaged. Was he friends with this person who got engaged? How did they get the
Sure.
picture?
Sure. So I think that at the time, I mean, keep in mind at the time I was maybe 16, 17. I wasn't running the account. I was in
Mhm.
high school. Um, so the guy running the account at the time, it was his friend. So he said like, hey, Ephraim, could I please post your photo? Like we're getting this account started. So
Wow.
that was the first couple to be posted on Simcha Spot.
That's incredible. And they have 5 kids now.
5 kids. Yep.
And you guys keep in touch with them since they're the first couple, or not
We
really?
did not. We actually reached out to them so we would have their names for this interview. But it was very interesting I was the one who called them. It was definitely an interesting phone conversation.
And what did you say? You said like, where are you in life right now? How's it going?
Yeah, I just kind of said, like, Simcha Spot is doing an interview. We're
Mhm.
very lucky we're being on the Malya and Hebrew Hits show. And can you tell us a little bit, like, what's happened in the past 5, 6 years? Turns out they
Yeah.
have twins. So that's how they have five under, like
I
six.
was wondering. I was wondering how that was possible. That's incredible. And so I'm so mind boggled by the whole thing that you're able to reach back out. And has there been anybody else that has reached out to you and said, hey, we were posted on Simple Spot. Here's where we are right now, or not really?
So I would say occasionally when people are separated, they'll reach out to us that they want their, photos removed because then maybe they're going back into the shidduch dating world. And,
Mm.
that's always my top priority. When I get those emails, I take care of that immediately. But,
Yeah.
it's interesting. We've seen a lot of people who've been featured on Simcha Spot as influencers grow. So, there are people who maybe we put on for Simcha Spot's Got Talent, and now we check their Instagram and they have thousands more followers, and it's just interesting to
Wow.
see. Yeah.
That is interesting. Now, what you were saying is how people come and they want their picture taken down because they're getting back the shidduch system. Is that if people had broken engagements and they were posted? What are you referring to?
So there's a few different things that could happen. There's broken engagements, there's divorce,
Mm,
there's people being separated. You know, Baruch Hashem, it's not a regular thing, but occasionally we
right.
do get an email like that, and we try to be very sensitive. You know, I know if I was in that situation, I would want my photo removed immediately.
Right. Has there ever been a chassan and kala though that has wanted their picture taken down? And if so, can you tell us the story, like how that happened?
Occasionally people are just camera shy,
Hmm.
and you know their friend thinks, oh my gosh, Shani would love to be on Simcha Spot, and turns out
Right.
Shani does not want to be on Simcha Spot.
Right.
So poor Shani's mother, you know, will call us up and be like, please take it down, like Shani does not want to be up there.
Oh man.
I've gotten like calls in the middle of the night, like, you know, people are like, I'm so sorry, like I thought my best friend would love it, you know, and I'm thinking like, well, you don't know her very well, you know.
Right.
um,
Right.
so we take that down right away. But overall, the vast majority of people are thrilled to be featured on Sofa Spot. You know, it's your 5 minutes of fame.
Has there ever been somebody that you posted that wasn't a chassan and kala? Like, let's say two girls who like took a funny picture and somebody sent it into Simcha Spot, they posted, or two guys who sent it in that were not engaged, but they were posted anyways. You know what I'm saying?
Sure. Yeah, yeah, yeah. We've had a lot of teenagers try to prank us like that.
Hmm.
Thank God we have a good team that's able to spot it, you know?
Okay.
I think we even had somebody a guy who put on a wig and pretended to be like it was like some yeshiva shtick, and
Oh
like
my
pretended
gosh.
it was like Purim. I think it was around Purim time, and they thought it would
Yeah.
be hilarious if they got on Simcha Spot. They never made it to Simcha Spot, but it makes a
Hmm.
funny story.
So I'm wondering if you guys don't only post like focusing on engagement, if you see something funny, you post it as well, right?
So, in terms of funny content, we try to keep it very kosher. So, you know, as part of being the editor of Simcha Spot, I'm also the moderator. So,
Mm,
you know, Simcha Spot has a lot of people that associate more with a yeshiva lifestyle,
hmm.
and we want everybody to feel comfortable. So we keep
100%.
you know, the strictest levels of modesty, and we are very careful in terms of tznius and you know, just being appropriate. You know,
Hmm.
no humor that's not, you know, completely clean. So, you know, that's how we run the page.
I love the page because I could see people who are getting engaged, which I maybe was friends with, but like it was a long time
Right.
ago. Now I see they're engaged. It's such a beautiful page. I really, really love it. And again, I check it all the time. Now, has Simcha Spot experienced any challenges with the page? And if so, how do they overcome those challenges?
So with the growing demand, you know, our website gets a lot of hits,
Hmm.
and every once in a while the website does crash. Now, I will tell you that even Amazon has this problem, you
Hmm.
know? So, you know, we're not the first people to deal with this. And, you know, it's just a question of how quickly can we get it back up. You know, and we have somebody on tech who's fantastic, who usually it's just a few hours.
Okay.
But that is kind of one of the difficulties we faced. Also, just you know, with being very sensitive to you know, taking down people's photos. That's another challenge we face.
Is it
We've
hard? What you're
really
saying, it's hard to take down the photos? Like it's uncomfortable for you guys, or what do you mean?
sometimes it takes a lot of searching to find the photos. Somebody will text
Oh,
me that they want a photo down from 2017. So I have to do
wow.
quite a bit of searching. Sometimes people are great and they'll send me the links. Sometimes I just get names. So I'm like scrolling back on our Instagram for quite some time. But it is our priority. You know, we're willing
Right.
to put, you know, that's really important.
And there's a lot of things that you post. So scrolling down a few years will take a
Right.
very long time.
So on average, I'm posting about 15 to 20 posts a day on our Instagram, just to give you an idea.
Wow.
Yes.
And do you
Yeah.
create all of those posts or a lot of them people send you in? How does that work?
So it's very interesting. We have such an amazing following that most of our content is user generated, meaning that I can wake up in the morning and have to open 40 DMs. And then we've got 10 engagements right there. We got some
Wow.
wedding shtick. We have, you know, a funny meme. And a lot of it is sorting. You know, sometimes people think things are funny, they're really not.
Right.
You know, sometimes people send me and I'm just like, that's hilarious. You know, this has to be on some spot.
Right.
So, you know, it's a lot of sorting through stuff and, you know, creating the posts. I always have my eye out for cute and funny stuff that I'll find personally. My friends will often be like, Serena, you have to post this on Simcha Spot. So I
Mhm.
get a lot of content through friends and family. But I would say 80 to 90% of our content is from our following.
That is so awesome. It takes off,
Yeah,
I guess, the most of the workload for you. I mean, you have to come up with the post, but they send you the actual post that you need to post, and you come up with the wording.
exactly, exactly. Captions are important. Everybody wants a
Mhm.
cute caption. Um,
Right.
I will tell you that, um, you know, you can't even imagine what Simcha Spot is like on Purim. I mean,
Wow.
I will probably leave my house for an hour or two to do Shalach Manas deliveries, and the rest of the day I'm going to be on that Simcha Spot phone.
Wow. Is it a separate phone you have?
Yes, there is a special Simcha Spot phone. It's a
Okay.
very nice phone. It's an Android for everybody who wants to know. And yeah,
Galaxy?
that phone, it's a Galaxy, yep. And
Galaxy's the way to
everybody,
go, by the way. Galaxy's the way to go,
definitely,
not iPhone.
definitely, definitely. I can tell you that before, personally have an iPhone, and
Mhm.
I was very impressed by the Galaxy. So,
Mhm.
anyways, but long story short, the Simcha Spot phone is not touched by anybody in the Hain household. Everybody knows that is the Simcha Spot phone. I guard that phone with my life. Yes,
So only you have access to the Simcha Spot phone.
correct. Yes.
Ah, very cool. Now, has there been any like engagements or weddings that you don't post? Because I know you just said you get like 40 DMs a day and you post around 15. Do you post every single like engagement or no?
Yes, we do. I will make sure that everybody who is dressed appropriately and who is engaged is going to get their chance to shine on Simcha Spot.
Uh-huh.
The only, sometimes I will say to people, we would love to post, can you send us a different photo? Maybe you have a more professional photo, it's going in front of a lot of people.
Right.
The only thing is that a lot of the DMs we get are like questions for us. It's very interesting. People will say like, oh, like, can you tell me more about this post? Or like, I found this really funny. And like, I get a lot of feedback to know like what people are enjoying and what they're not. We get a lot of questions about the craziest dating stories.
That is so interesting. Now, have you ever gotten a name wrong when you posted an engagement?
I would like to say not, but that wouldn't be true. you know, occasionally Ephraim Schwartz will turn into Ephraim Katz because I'm tired.
Oh
And
man.
people are really nice. Immediately I'll get like 10 DMs, be like, that's my friend, that's my best friend. You spelled his name wrong, and I quickly change it. I
That's
hope
so
nobody saw.
funny.
I actually was on a date, and the boy said to me, I was on a shidduch date and work came up, and he's like, what do you do? I was like, oh, I work for Simcha Spot. He's like, you had a spelling mistake the other day.
Oh
I
my
was like,
gosh.
you have to be kidding me. I was like,
Oh
oh my goodness. I was like, first of all, you have way too much free time on your hands. Let's just
my
start
God.
there. And second of all, like, wow, like I gotta like brush up on my game here, you
Oh my,
know?
and was that like a no for you? You're like, I'm not going out with this guy again because he
Uh,
found the mistake?
it was not a complete deal breaker, but it definitely like took me off guard, you know?
100%, 100%. Do you ever share your personal dating stories on?
Yes, I do. But because of Lashon Hara, I try to be very sensitive about never writing Simcha Spot Serena's dating story because I don't want any of the guys I've been out with to feel bad. Um,
Mhm.
thank God I haven't had too many crazy dating stories. But in the
That's
very
good.
beginning, when we started the segment and we were trying to put up content to get this trend started so people would send in, the first 3 or 4 stories were all mine. So,
Okay.
and every once in a while, I'll throw one in there that's my own, and it's fun. Nobody knows which is which.
Right, because that's what I needed to ask you. I was like, I see that you always post these Simcha Spot shidduch stories. Are they true?
Yeah,
Are they true? People actually have these crazy stories.
these are true. And it's mind blowing what happens on some dates. But
Hmm.
this is the way I think of it. Like, if you were to stand in front of an audience of 80,000 people, you're going to hear some wacky stuff, you know?
That's true.
So, sometimes I'm like, where in the world? Now, is it possible somebody is sending something in that's not true and
Hmm.
I'm not informed? It's possible. I think it keeps our followers wondering, like, did this
Hmm.
really happen? And I think that's part of the reason the segment's so popular. It's almost like um, Ripley's Believe It or Not. It's like, is that real? Is that not real? So it's possible
Yeah.
anybody can make up a story and send it in.
I could not believe they were real. I mean, now that I'm hearing that they are real, I was like, I thought for sure you guys come up with these wacky dating stories because they're really wacky. They're really
No,
wacky.
no, this is all from the followers. A lot of our followers are in shidduchim themselves. So the majority of
Right.
our followers are, I would say, under 30. So
Hmm.
you have a large percentage of people who are dating, especially using the shidduch system. So we get a lot of fun stories.
Are you guys have followers mostly men or mostly women? I know that you could check this on your insights on the
Yeah.
account.
We have more women than men, but it's not so much that you would
Hmm.
think. I think we're about 60 or 55% women and 45% male. People think there's a lot more girls than guys who follow, but it's really not true. We
Hmm.
really have both.
Interesting. Now, I really want to get to the main point of the show, which is the entire mantra of Hebrew Hits is it's what you do with what you have that makes a difference. Now, I know that I'm not interviewing you about your personal life, which I usually do. I'm interviewing you about Simcha Spot, a page. So, how can you tell me Simcha Spot fits into this mantra of it's what you do with what you have that makes a difference?
So in terms of what we have here, we have, the Jewish world at our fingertips.
Hmm.
I mean, we really can put out a message and reach thousands and thousands of people. So what we try to do is we start these trends.
Hmm.
And I'm really excited. I get to come up with a lot of them. It's my favorite part of the job. And we try to make meaningful trends. For example, this past summer, there was a lot of rioting and a lot of violence, and we started Make a Kiddush Hashem with a police officer. And we had people from all over the country taking pictures with their masks and their kids and their families, bringing donuts to the police. Hundreds of
Wow.
people. And that was just our way. And like we started that. We started that trend. And then everybody bought donuts for the police. Another thing we did is I was walking in Target one day and I noticed it was right in the beginning when we all had to start wearing masks. And I noticed how funky people's masks were.
Hmm.
So I was like, let's start a best mask challenge. It's such a depressing time. Life is so difficult right now.
Hmm.
Let's make something meaningful out of this. Let's start a fun trend. And we started the best mask challenge. And it was going for a good 3 or 4 months. We were getting
Yes.
hundreds of funny masks in. I don't know if you saw,
Yeah, of
but
course I did.
it was a lot of fun. Yes.
I should have taken a picture of this, but I was just out for pizza on Motzei Shabbos with my friends, and there was a guy who walked into the pizza store with a garbage bag over his mouth as his mask. And I was like, oh my gosh, Simcha
Wow.
Spot. But I was like, oh, I left my phone in the car. I don't really like to, when I'm with my friends to be on my phone. And I was like, shoot, that would have been such a good picture. But he didn't have a mask. So he literally used the garbage bag.
Wow. Wow. We had somebody, my favorite was somebody sent us in a picture of a man in a grocery store, a grown man wearing scuba
Mhm.
diving gear.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, like the full, you know what I'm talking about? Like it's got a thing going up for the oxygen,
100.
like the
Yeah,
full blown
100%.
thing as a mask. I guess, he didn't want to, pay $1 and buy a mask, but he had scuba diving gear at home.
Oh my gosh, that is crazy. He probably did it for shtick. No, it probably wasn't
For
for like
sure.
he
For
didn't want
sure.
to. Yeah, he probably was like, okay, this is what I'm gonna do because this is hilarious. I'm gonna be wearing this, and I get away. By the way, the one thing that like incredible that came out of quarantine and Corona is I feel like everybody really figured out who they are, and nobody cared
Right.
anymore. Like you want to go out in your sweatshirt, go out. You want to go out in a baseball cap, go out in a baseball cap. You want to go out without makeup, with makeup, who cares? I feel like everyone really became confident in who they are, which was so incredible to see. I've been seeing it so much more.
Definitely, definitely. And we saw that at Simcha Spot as well. We saw a lot of kindness. We have a segment
Mhm.
called Spot the Kindness. And it's
Yeah.
literally like if you see something kind, take out your phone and send it to Simcha Spot. And I love to see, we've seen so much kindness over Corona. It's really been so incredible.
And I love the police one that you go and you
Wow.
support and say thank you to the police officers. When I saw that, I was like, wow, Simcha Spot just like literally became so much more incredible than it already was because it's
Wow.
literally making a Kiddush Hashem and you're showing that there's so much crazy going on in the world. But in this place of Simcha Spot, we're creating good. We're focusing on
Exactly.
positivity.
Exactly. And Simcha Spot is all about positivity. I mean,
Mhm.
we're posting Simcha all day. And I
Right.
think that a big thing is I feel we almost have a responsibility to, make a Kiddush Hashem and encourage people to get on the latest trends and, encourage people to do something meaningful in their community. And we'll feature you on Simcha Spot and you feel even better about yourself than you did before.
Right.
So that's kind of how we take what we've got and we turn it into good.
Now I want to ask you this. Has Simcha Spot received any backlash for the page? And if so, how do they deal with it?
So I would be the one who occasionally gets the backlash because I answer the DMs.
Mhm.
And I try to not take things personally. When you have so many people, not everybody's going to love everything. Haters are haters, right?
True.
And I would say 99.999% of our followers are following us because they love us and they support our mission. And there's always somebody who says this trend is silly or why should I do this? And my answer to them is usually like, you don't have to. This is like we put it out there. If you'd like to join in on our trends, join on in. If you don't, that's fine. You can watch.
But out of
So,
the 80,000 plus people that are, a part of Simcha Spot, if you only get a little small amount, that's incredible that you're getting most positive
right.
responses,
And I
you
really think
know?
that represents the Jewish world, that we are generally very positive and accepting and unified. And I think that our following represents that.
So I gotta ask you this question because you are Serena and we talk about Simcha Spot Serena. I've been following Simcha Spot for a very long time. And there was never a face to Simcha Spot. It just, I thought things just happened automatically. No.
Right.
But I always wondered, like, okay, I guess who is this person behind Simcha Spot? And then all of a sudden, I see a post. Hi, this is Simcha Spot Serena. So
Right.
how did that actually come to be that you became the face of Simcha Spot?
So, I have been with Simcha Spot for almost a year now. It's been an incredible journey. And we were sitting down, the team was sitting down, and we were discussing, like, do we want to let the followers know
Mhm.
that the face behind the page? And we all agreed that people would really enjoy it. I've lived all over. I know a lot of people from Israel, from New York, from Baltimore. And I was just like, I've never been a shy person. I was happy to put my face out there. I don't mind. Occasionally, I get a little nervous when somebody like, I was in a pizza shop in New York and some like random person like yelled out my name. Okay, that made me a little
Oh
nervous.
my gosh.
That made me a little scared. But generally speaking, I think it's so cute when I'm out somewhere and like, people will be like, "Oh, I know you from Simba Spot." I was like, "Oh my gosh, thank you for saying hello." But we all just decided that people would be interested to see who runs the page, you
For
know?
sure, 100%. And how is the reaction though? Like people were surprised it was a girl, were surprised that you were young. Like what was the reaction?
I think people are a little surprised how young I am. I just turned
Mhm.
23. I also think that a lot of people expected it to be a guy. I don't know why. I think that some other larger Instagram pages are run by men, although
Mhm.
there's a lot of fierce women out there on Instagram. But I really find it like a privilege to show that as a woman, you can represent such a large company. I really think it's an honor.
100%. I'm going to say this again. I never thought of it as a person behind the page. Maybe other people have. I never thought
Right.
it's not like one of those secretive pages where, oh my gosh, who is it? Is it a girl? Is it a guy? Simcha Spot to me was just a place where I could go and see simchos and be happy and see positive stuff on their page. It wasn't like who's running it. So it's so interesting now to see the person that is behind it and is the one that's in charge of all the content and all of, making sure everything goes smoothly and right on Simcha Spot.
I think that people sometimes, just like you check your Facebook, you check your Instagram, people don't think too much into like who posted this. People are just like,
Mhm.
oh, here's a post. So I think a lot of people were on the same page as you, Malya.
So tell me, what does it look like a day in the life of Simcha Spot Serena?
So I get up. The first thing I do is I answer all the DMs. I make sure that we, have scheduled content for the day. And
Mhm.
then throughout the day, I make sure that I post stuff up almost every hour. Sometimes, Sometimes if somebody wants something taken down, I'll even pull my car over to the side of the road because I feel this is such a time sensitive matter, you know?
Hmm. Right.
So that's always interesting. To like, you know, be on the highway and kind of pull over because somebody wants their picture down.
Right.
Um, but a day in the life of working for Simcha Spot is really fun. You know, I am able to work anywhere in the world. I've worked from, you know, when I was on vacation in Florida, just took the phone with me and I was able to keep spreading simcha. And
Wow.
it is a lot of fun. It is a lot of fun.
It seems like you're working all day though. So you still went on vacation, but you were still working all day. No?
Right. So, you know, I'm not working every single minute of the day. I had enough
Hmm.
time to hop into the pool, you know, walk the dog.
Awesome.
But I, you know, I'm very on top of it. Let's put it that way.
So when do you have a day off? Is it on Pesach? Is it on New Year's? Is it on Hanukkah? When does Simcha Spot Serena have a day off?
So I work Motzei Shabbos, I work Sundays. You know, we get a lot of engagements on the weekends. You know, that's when
Oh,
people get
yes.
engaged, and that's also when everybody's on their phone. Motzei Shabbos, the second Shabbos is out, I'm on the phone because that's everybody checks Simcha Spot that night.
Hmm.
I get a break when it's Yantif. Let's put it that way. When it's Yantif,
Wow.
the phone goes away, and that's one of the greatest parts about being from is that everything stops when Yantif comes in or Shabbos.
Hmm. So
So
what do you do if you're sick though? Like let's say you're really, really sick and you can't be with the phone. What do you do?
sure. I mean, in the past, I've worked from being in bed. You know, I've been posting like sick in bed. You know, because it's just virtual. It's not. You know, Baruch Hashem, I've never been seriously ill.
Hmm.
But yeah, it's cool. You know, that's the greatest thing. We're living in a. I think COVID's shown us we're living in a virtual world. That's
Yes,
where, you
100%.
know, everything's moving.
Yeah, but I can't imagine like having a headache or something and trying to sleep and then you're posting, you're looking at a screen. It doesn't like, I guess maybe that never happened to you. Maybe that's what you're saying.
Yeah, I am a pretty healthy person, but it's also I really enjoy my you know,
Your
my time
job.
on my spot. Exactly. So, you know, I don't think of it as work.
So Serena, can you please share a story of how Simcha Spot has impacted a fan?
Yes, we actually had somebody message us a few weeks back saying that their younger sister, I think she's about 16, was sick in the hospital and
Hmm.
that she is a huge Simcha Spot fan. So he's
Wow.
like, could you send her something? So we recorded a video from the Simcha Spot office. You know, it said Simcha Spot in the background and just saying that everybody at Simcha Spot is behind her and we wish her refuah shalema and we can't wait to post her on Simcha Spot one day. And it was so nice to get an opportunity to make someone's day like that. And you know,
100%.
we encourage followers, you know, to reach out if they want something like that. We'd be happy to do it for them.
So when you sent that video, was that Simcha Spot Serena sending the video or was that the team of Simcha Spot? Because I know that you only show your face.
Yeah, it was just myself, but it was on
Okay.
behalf of everybody who's involved. Yes.
Wow. And how's she doing now? Have you like contacted her or like found out how
Yeah,
she's doing now?
Baruch Hashem, I think she's doing a lot better.
Baruch
So it was
Hashem.
nice to, you know, see her improve.
That's so amazing. You have such a big platform and you guys are doing so much good stuff on it. Now, does
Thank
Simcha
you.
Spot have any competition?
Yes, we do. Only Simchas is our biggest competition. We don't think of them as competition. We think of them as another incredible place that is sharing Simcha. And there is enough Simcha to go around. There really is.
Hmm. You
Um,
guys do post like some of the same like engagements. They're posting on
100%.
both.
Sometimes people will even send us a DM and it's like three people in it. It's like only Simcha Spot and the person.
Oh,
And
wow.
we both say like, thank you so much. Like, let's share
Right.
in more Simchas.
Who
Um,
started first though? Was only Simchas before Simcha Spot? Was Simcha Spot before only Simchas?
we were first. We were the first to have an Instagram posting
Really?
engagements. So
Really?
only Simchas has had a website, I think, for almost 20 years. Simcha Spot is only 5 years old, but we were the first to make it to Instagram.
Interesting. That's because I remember years ago, like
Yes.
years when I was still like in elementary school, we would type in only simchas. We'd go to engagements, they had weddings, bris, like
Right.
all different. like Simchos, and we type in engagement, but Instagram, there's nothing like Instagram that you could just see pictures so much easier than going on a website.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Instagram has changed the way we view websites, right?
Right. Did you guys have a hard time building up or right away? I know I asked you about how did you grow so quickly, but I want to get more specific. And you guys really have a huge account. Like, how did that happen?
I think it was just from how active we were being, and people liked our brand. I mean, it's cool. It's a spot for Simcha, people shared
It's
it with
true.
their friends and their family, and, we just grew and grew.
So tell me about what really goes on at Simcha Spot headquarters.
So we have a super cool office. It's yellow, the Simcha Spot colors. And we have giant Jenga that we play in the office.
Wow.
It is a fun place. We have Bring Your Dog to Work Day. Very funny, Malya. My dog's name is Spot. So Spot.
No.
Yes, he is.
Uh,
He is. So I call him now Simcha Spotty because I think it's so cute.
Did you get the dog and name it Spot before you started working for Simcha Spot?
Yeah, so Spot's 12. He's been with the Hain family for many, many years.
Wow.
He's so old, he already has arthritis. And he just became the dog of Simcha Spot a few months ago. And he has a vest that says Simcha Spot on it, and he is our little mascot. And he comes to the Simcha Spot office sometimes.
And where is the Simcha Spot headquarters?
So we are located in Baltimore, but Simcha Spot really is virtual.
Right, because I know that you said you're in Baltimore, but I wasn't sure. You said you work virtually, so I wasn't sure if you actually go to the headquarters or if you work from home.
I generally work from home, yes.
You generally work from home. So Serena, before we go, I want to ask you, what is your favorite part of working for Simcha Spot?
Yeah, that's a great question, Malya. My personal favorite part is our weekly team meetings where we join together and discuss what is the latest trend we want to start, and how do we improve ourselves? How do we keep spreading kindness and simcha, and where do we go from here? And every Thursday at 3, we join together and we discuss this, and it's so much fun.
So what is the next trend for Simcha Spot?
So I have to keep it a mystery. I can't tell you everything.
Oh man,
we gotta keep people wondering. I think we would love to start some type of Corona trends, because it's the never-ending, disaster, and it's so hard. So we would love to lighten the mood a little bit with that. So stay tuned.
Is there any other secrets that you can tell us before we go?
Is there any other secrets? That's a great question.
We want the juicy secrets of Simcha Spot.
I think just people assumed I was from New York because so much of our following is from New York. And people think Baltimore is so out of town. They're like, wait, she's from Baltimore? Baltimore? Yeah. It's funny. Baltimore is not so out of town as people think. But I think just everybody assumed that Simcha Spot Serena was from Brooklyn. So
I thought so. I thought so
sure.
100%. Even on this interview, I had no idea before we started this interview that you're from Baltimore. When you said Baltimore, I didn't react, but I was like, Baltimore. Wow.
Where is she talking about? Kentucky, or That's
right? Because you would think all these big accounts are in New York, but
100%.
Well, you just listened to the 42nd episode of Hebrew Hits. Thank you so much, Serena, for being here.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me on. This was so much fun.
So much fun. And if people want to contact you directly, not through Simcha Spot, is there a way, or is Simcha Spot the best way to go?
If anybody wanted to contact me directly, my email is serenahain, HAIN @gmail.com. And it's interesting. People will sometimes shoot me a personal email. So
have you ever gotten scared away from anybody who sent you an email? Have there ever been any creepy people or anything like that?
Generally not. Generally, we just have great followers. The only other thing I would mention is that, if you see me somewhere, come and say hello. I love to meet our fans in person. I love to, hear feedback, and, it's a privilege to get to represent something like this.
Please go follow Hebrew Hits on all your favorite streaming apps, and please go follow Hebrew Hits on Instagram and Facebook at Hebrew_Hits. I'm your host, Malya. We are also available on YouTube. Please hit that subscribe button at Hebrew Hits Radio. Again, this was the 42nd episode of Hebrew Hits. I was here with Simcha Spot Serena, interviewing her about Simcha Spot. We'll be back next week, same time, same place. Have a great day.
Bye.